Hello, I'm Juan Davies, Chief Creative Officer at KCT and PBS SoCal, and I'm joined by the newsroom of KPCC and LAist on a daily reporter roundup. Let's start with you today, Frank. You have been reporting on the death of Dijon Quisi, who was shot by sheriff's deputies on Monday. What are the details?
Well, first one, the Kizzy family got some high-profile legal help today. The police abuse attorney who represents the families of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Jacob Blake, attorney Ben Crump, now represents the Kizzy family. And Crump said today that deputies never should have stopped Kizzy for a bicycle traffic violation and called the shooting an execution. Meantime, video has surfaced that shows the shooting itself. It shows deputies struggling to subdue Kizzy, then firing repeatedly at him as he falls to the ground. It does not answer the crucial contention of deputies that Kizzy was reaching for a gun that had fallen to the ground during the struggle. That's because a wall partially obstructs the view of the camera.
Also today, the LA City Council declared a fiscal emergency. That paves the way for furloughs for thousands of city workers. Libby's been following it.
Yes, the city needs to bridge a huge budget shortfall that's only growing as coronavirus continues to shrink tax revenue. Mayor Garcetti first proposed these furloughs back in April with his belt-tightening budget. But first, the council tried delaying the cuts by offering a buyout program, basically paying people to leave the city payroll. But not enough people decided to take that buyout, which left the council really between a rock and a hard place. So they voted today to declare a fiscal emergency to allow the city to proceed with furloughs, which amount to a 10% pay cut for about 60,000 city workers. The furloughs will last from October this year to June of 2021, and that'll save the city over $100 million. Police, firefighters, sanitation workers, and a couple other categories are exempt.
And while the city council is looking to cut spending, Metro's studying how to eliminate fares system-wide. Ryan's been looking at that.
That's right. That was a pretty big announcement that Metro CEO Philip Washington made last week at the monthly board of directors meeting. It was met largely with approval from Metro's board of directors, and Washington himself equated it with how firefighting and policing is just kind of part of the public purse of spending. So he wanted to think about public transit in that same vein. And really the goals would be to improve equity and economic parity for riders. The majority of Metro's bus riders are below the poverty line, and about a third of its rail riders are in general. Metro has also been, suffering the losses of the pandemic as far as ridership. So it could be a way to incentivize more people to get back on the system and ride. They have been building their ridership back. It's about at half where it was pre-pandemic at the moment. But really, this is another incentive to get people to get on public transit, to leave their personal vehicles at home, which would help alleviate congestion, especially as we get kind of back up to pre-pandemic levels. Metro CEO wants to move pretty fast on this. He outlined a goal where he would possibly have recommendations in place based on a task force that is studying this. And he said his goal is to possibly put the system in place as early as 2021.
And finally today, with about a month to go before the end of the census, there are reports the Census Bureau is going to stop door knocking earlier than planned. Caroline's been following the count for us.
Yes, this week has been absolutely crazy. Like you said, there's a month to go, and it turned out that this Census Bureau official working in San Diego said that they may end the door knocking part of the census early in that region. He said that it could end on September 18th. That's about 2 weeks earlier than the deadline the census has said. And today the Census Bureau actually sort of walked that back. They said that they're not changing the schedule to end early. They're just saying that some areas could be easier to count, and that means that they could complete all of their work there earlier. And this is really surprising to a lot of census advocates because they've been saying that there's a lot of work to do. And the Census Bureau even said back in April this year, they said that they would need until October to do this work. And so it's surprising to people to see that the Census Bureau is getting this work done so early, and that's raising questions in the census advocate community about the quality of this work. And in other news, the state census office actually gave LA County $4 million to do census outreach because responses are so low here. And so we'll see how that helps. It's really crunch time with the last 29 days to go.
Well, thank you, Caroline. And I don't think that this pandemic is helping at all with all these. And thank you all at the KPCC and LAist newsroom. Thank you for tuning in. Take care of your health, your family, your neighbor, and we will see you tomorrow.